Good day, dear students. I welcome you all in Gyandut 2.0 English online classes. And I, Mrs. Alka Panwar from Government Girls College, Ajmer, will teach you today a Shakespearean sonnet, a sonnet written by William Shakespeare. And the title of the sonnet is Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer's Day? As we all know that Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets in all. Some of his sonnets were dedicated to the fair youth and the other were dedicated to the dark lady. The identity of the fair youth is not known. And this is a fair youth sonnet. And fair youth was a young man whose identity is unknown till date. Nobody has ever come to know who was actually the fair youth. But whosoever he was William Shakespeare's best friend, his favorite, and he used to love fair youth's physical charm very much. And this is sonnet number 18, written by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Now, here you have to imagine a summer's day of London, where summers are welcome, where most of the time there is winter, there is snowfall. So, as a result of this sort of prolonged winters, summers are always welcome. We don't have to imagine India's summer. Here we are tortured by summer. Here we don't like summer. So, here you have to imagine that he is comparing the fair youth, his friend, to something very welcome, to something very beautiful. So he said, and now notice the question mark on the title of the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So there is a doubt whether he should compare the fair youth to a summer's day or not. And what are those doubts and how does he clear those doubts is the content of this poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's lease hath all too short a date. William Shakespeare's poems, especially his sonnets, deal invariably with the time factor. In almost all of his sonnets, time is the prominent entity, prominent factor. So here also, why does not he want his friend's comparison with summer's day? Because of time. We will learn how. He says, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So there is again a question mark. He has a doubt that whether or not I should compare you to a summer's day. Now, summer's day is the most welcome day, most welcome thing in London. People enjoy summer's day. It is beautiful. It is the month of April and May, the month of blossoms and flowers and productivity and maturity. So he says, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. But he says, no, I can't compare you with a summer's day because you are, art means are. This is Old English. You are more lovely. It means summer's day is lovely, but you are lovelier and more temperate. More temperate means there is softness in your beauty. You are temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May. Now these are the qualities of a summer's day. It is lovely, but it is windy also. And what happens during the summer's day? Rough winds blow and they cause a harm to the beautiful buds of May, to the darling and delicate buds and flowers which bloom in the month of May. So, this quality of a summer's day makes summer's day incapable of being compared to the beauty of fair youth. So he says, first of all, you are more lovely and more temperate. Summer's day sometimes is not temperate, it may be harsh, it may be too hot. And in the summers, there are rough winds. The days are too windy, and they do shake the darling buds of May. And those winds are ill winds that cause a lot of harm to the flowers. So, the power of destruction is also there in the summer's day. And summer's lease hath all too short a date. Now, here enters the entity of time. He says, summer's lease. Lease means a period of time which is asked for. So there is a particular time period given to summer which is very short. So he says, summer's lease hath all too short a date. Summer is not everlasting. It goes away very soon. It passes away very soon. But your beauty will not pass away very soon. So he says there are many reasons why he is not comparing the beauty of the fair youth with a summer's day. First of all, he is more lovely, his beauty is lovelier and more temperate, soothing, beautiful. And there are rough winds which blow during the summer's day and they cause a lot of harm to the flowers. Flowers are blown away, their petals are blown away during the summers, and the lease, the duration, the time period of summer is too short. So these are the reasons why he is not comparing the beauty of fair youth to a summer's day. Summer's day is beautiful in itself, but still it can't be compared with the beauty of the fair youth. Now he continues with the reasons. He says, sometimes too hot, the eye of heaven shines. Now another reason is that sometimes the sun shines too scorchingly, too hot. And what is the eye of heaven? The eye of heaven is sun. Now see the beautiful imagery, and there's a metaphor also that sun is being compared with the eye of heaven. And sometimes during the summers the sun is so much hot that we get irritated by it. But the beauty of the fair youth is very soothing. It is not as scorching and hot as the sun's heat. And often is his gold complexion dimmed. Now, see, Shakespeare has used this word his for sun. Sun has gold complexion. Sun is beautiful during the summers, but his gold complexion is dimmed by two reasons, by clouds and by eclipses. But the beauty of the fair youth is ever too young. It is never dimmed and it is never eclipsed. It is same forever. So the gold complexion of the sun gets dimmed by the eclipses and by clouds. But there are no clouds and eclipses in the beauty of the fair youth. And every fair from fair sometimes declines. Now, here comes the universal truth. You remember Shakespeare's poem, Let Me Not to the Marriage of True Minds? He says, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come. So rosy lips and cheeks, they are the symbols of youth and beauty, but time, the destructor, the destroyer, destroys the beauty and destroys the youth also. So the same undertones we can feel in this line also when he says every fair from fair sometimes decline. Now here he is talking of physical beauty. So fair from fair, however fair and beautiful you are, the beauty declines with time. We can see we have so many examples of Cleopatra. We have example of our film heroines that once they were very beautiful, and despite taking care of their beauty whole life long, in the end what happens, their beauty declines, because it is the rule of nature that no care and no comfort can retain your beauty forever. However fair, however beautiful you are, the beauty will decline someday or the other. So he says, the beauty of my fair youth is everlasting, it will not decline. So the universal phenomena of this decline in beauty does not work on the beauty of the fair youth. By chance or by nature's course, changing course untrimmed, either the fair or the beauty declines by chance, by accidents, and if not by accident, it naturally fades away because the nature's changing course is untrimmed. Untrimmed means it goes continuous. Whatever has a rise faces a fall also. So there can be no denial in the fact that beauty declines some day or the other. Then he says, but thy eternal summer shall not fade. You see, again he has used the word summer. He is now not comparing the beauty of the fair youth with a summer's day, but he is comparing now the beauty of the fair youth with eternal summer. He has now added this adjective eternal. So, your beauty is comparable to summer's, but summers which are eternal. So he says, thy summer is eternal. Summer here stands for beauty. So your eternal summer shall not fade into winters. In other words, your beauty will not fade into ugliness or age old wrinkles or the lack of beauty, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest. Your body will never lose possession of the charms and beauties which thou owest. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade. And death will not brag, will not boast that you come under his jurisdiction, that you wander in his shade. We all come in the shade of death, but death will be unable to cause any harm to the beauty of the fair youth. Now he says, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest. Now there are two forces which can decrease anybody's beauty. The force one is time, another force is death. Beauty declines with the passage of time, and in the end, death takes away your whole body. But he says neither time will be able to cause any harm to your beauty, nor death will boast that you come under my shade and I will destroy you. You are above the destructive power of time, and you also surpass the destructive power of death. When in eternal lines to time thou growest. Now, here is the answer of the question which might arise in our minds, that how is it possible that Shakespeare can claim that the beauty of the fair youth is untouched by time, is untouched by death, and how is it possible that his beauty's summer is eternal? And the answer lies in the line when he says, when in eternal lines. Now, you see, he has used this word again, eternal summer for beauty, eternal lines to time thou growest. Now, your beauty will grow with time, it will not decline with time. Now, it is a universal phenomena that generally beauty, youth, strength, they all decline with time. But here he says, your beauty will grow with time. How will it grow? When in eternal lines. Now, he is talking of his own poetry. He says that I have locked the beauty of the fair youth in my poems. Now he is so sure that his poems will be eternal. Eternal means in generations to come he will be read, and the beauty which is locked in the sonnets and in the other poems by Shakespeare will be passed from one generation to another. Generations will remember the beauty of the fair youth. He is so sure that his poems will find a place in the hearts and minds of the readers for many generations, and in his poetry and in his sonnets will live forever the beauty of the fair youth. Now, in the couplet, he says, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Now, here there is a wish, two wishes. First of all, he wishes that his poems will live forever. And secondly, he wishes that in his poetry, the beauty of the fair youth will be eternalized, will be made permanent. So he wishes, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see. It means for the coming time, for time immemorial, till human beings tread on this earth, till human beings are there, they exist on this earth, so long as men can breathe, as long as people are living on this earth and eyes can see. So those eyes will read my poem, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Now notice this word life. Now, this is the life given to the beauty of the fair youth. Time may take away the body of the fair youth. Time may cause wrinkles on the face or the body of the fair youth. And death may take away the physical beauty or the whole physique of the fair youth. But still, fair youth will be alive in the minds and hearts of the readers, because the oxygen, the life will be provided to the fair youth, to the memory of fair youth, by the poetry of William Shakespeare. So he says, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see. Shakespeare does not want popularity for himself. He does not want wishes that his poem should become everlasting or eternal and people should read his poetry forever. He does not wish anything for himself, but still he wishes that his poetry should live forever and forever. And the purpose of this wish is that fair youth will be read. People will read the charms and beauty of the fair youth, which will be locked in his poems. So let us have a quick revision of this poem. This is sonnet number 18 by William Shakespeare. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So this poem is dedicated to the fair youth, and he asks himself, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thee here means you. So there is a rhetoric question over here. And what is a rhetoric question? When we ask a question and we don't expect an answer from somebody else and we ourselves answer the question. So there is a rhetoric question when he says, "Shall I compare you to a summer's day?" And as I told you, that we have to uh, imagine the summers of London, not the scorching heat of India and especially of Rajasthan. So, shall I compare thee to a summer's day? And the answer of the rhetoric question is given by the poet himself. He says, "No, thou art more lovely and more temperate." Now, notice the word of the use more. It means that summer's day is temperate, summer's day is lovely too, but your beauty is lovelier and you are more temperate. And one of the negative points of summer's day is that there are rough winds blowing during the summer's day and they cause a lot of harms to the delicate beauty of the buds and flowers. And your beauty is not destructive. And summer's lease hath all too short a date, and the duration of summer soon fades away, soon comes to an end. Then he says, "Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines." Now, here, eye of heaven means the sun, and sometimes it shines in a very hot manner that we get irritated. We can even have a sunstroke. But the beauty of the fair youth is temperate, soft. It is it has a shining like the sun, but its heat is not scorching, and often is his gold complexion dimmed. Another negative point of the sun is that the gold complexion, the gold color of the sun, it is dimmed by eclipses and by clouds, but the beauty of the fair youth is never eclipsed, is never covered. And every fair from fair sometimes declines. Every fair from fair, whether it is a beautiful flower or a beautiful season or a beautiful face, it declines one day. It is a universal phenomena. And there are two reasons for this decline: by chance, by accident, or by nature's changing course untrimmed, by the course of nature, by the rule or law of nature. But he says that, "But thy eternal summer shall not fade, your beauty will not fade, nor lose possession of the fair thou owest. You will ever possess the charms, the beauty, and fairness which you owe. Nor shall death brag thou wanderest in his shade." And even death can't boast. And recently we did the poem "Death Be Not Proud." So we can hear the undertones over here also, that death can claim the body of the fair youth but not the beauty of the fair youth, because the beauty of the fair youth is forever locked in the sonnets of William Shakespeare, because he says, "When in the eternal lines to time thou growest." Now you see, other common things decline with time, but here William Shakespeare claims that the beauty of fair youth will grow with time. So this is an element of contrast and a paradox also. "So long as men can breathe or eyes can see." Now he makes a wish that so long as men can breathe or eyes can see means as long as there are human beings inhabiting this world, so long lives this. This here means this sonnet, my poetry, and in my poems is hidden the life of fair youth. People will remember the beauty of the fair youth because poetry is such an art which cannot be destroyed. The papers can be destroyed, books can be burnt, but poetry cannot be burnt. It can live in the form of oral tradition also, and it passes over from generations to generations. So Shakespeare is quite confident that his poetry will live forever and his poetry will give life to the fair youth. So I hope you understood this poem. Thank you so much.